Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner.
The honest truth is that very few people start off with many advantages in life. Very few people start off with advantages in life. And if people were to put as much energy into achieving their goals as they spend making excuses for their failure and for their non-performance, they would actually surprise themselves. I was recently on a TBN program with a wonderful guy by the name of Scott Rigsby. Scott is an amazing man who is the first double amputee to complete the world-famous Hawaiian Ironman triathlon, which involves, and the triathlon is really, just a marathon is challenging. But a triathlon means that you have to swim 2.4 miles in the ocean. Get out of the ocean, hop on a bicycle, and go 112 miles. Get off the bicycle and then run 26.2 miles. That's a triathlon. This man was a double amputee. I'm up there looking at him. He's got prosthetics on, no legs, and no excuses. And he did it with no legs and finished it. He had nobody as an example. He was the first double amputee to ever do it. No legs, and said, I'm going to swim 2.4 miles. No legs, and he got on a bicycle and rode for 112 miles. No legs, and he ran for 26.2 miles with prosthetics. First man, no leg, double amputee, the first one to do it because he wouldn't make excuses for himself. Now, if a double amputee could do it, what are you trying to say? That, they took my grant. What they do, cut your legs off? Now how are you going to put legs to your vision? If a double amputee could do it in the natural, I'm believing that you can do it in the realm of the spirit, and God will show you how to put legs to things where you have had your legs cut off. You will be surprised what God will grace you to do when you just trust Him, when you trust Him and are resolved in your own heart and mind. No more excuses. Say that with me. No more excuses. Have you ever sat down to think or to dream about what your ideal life would be like? What career you would have? How much money you'd actually be making? What your ideal spiritual life would be? How much you'd pray every day? How much you'd read your Bible? How much you would witness? How many souls you'd bring into the kingdom? Have you ever stopped to dream about what your ideal family life would be like? How many children you'd have? What they would do? How the kinds of activities that you would do together? How much time that you would spend together? Have you ever thought about what your ideal health would be? Your optimum health? How much weight you would actually have at that time? Have you ever thought about those particular things? Now here's the most important question of all, is what steps can you start today to create your ideal spiritual life, career, family, health, and financial life? What is it what steps can you concretely start today? There's something that you can start today to start creating your ideal spiritual life, your career, family, health, and financial life. What can you start right now that will begin the process of making your ideal a reality? Now here's the key. Discipline is what you must have to resist the lure of making excuses. Discipline is what you must have to resist the lure of making excuses. My favorite definition of self-discipline was given by one of the most prolific writers in American history. His name was Elbert Hubbard. And he said, self-discipline is the ability to do what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. Let me say that again. Self-discipline is the ability to do what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. You cannot let your feelings rule you. You can't let your feelings dominate you, because when you are working on something, not waiting on something, when you are working on something, there are going to be so many times that you don't feel like getting up, feeding your spirit, feeding your brain, putting yourself in the right environment, preparing yourself, strategizing, planning. There are so many times that you don't feel like being faithful on the level where you are, so many times that you just don't feel like it. And if you'll roll back over when you know you need to get up, Remember now that this whole thing, self-discipline, is the ability to do what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. Whether you feel like it or not. Please underscore that on your paper. Whether you feel like it or not. You don't become successful or finish something that is challenging because you feel like doing it. You finish it because you were committed to a process. You don't stay in a difficult marriage because you feel like it. You stay because it's the right thing to do. If God has given you that mate, the thing that God will give you are not always easy. In fact, what is easy in your life is cheap. Your marriage doesn't have any value to you until you've gone through a little hell. You got to have some situations of where you have been through some stuff with a person to say, I got too much stock with you now. We've been through too much together for me to throw in the towel now. Oh, you think that's going to make me leave? After all of these years, I done put up with your mess and your mouth, and you think I'm going to let you walk out of my life and have to break somebody else in now? Sit down. If you going, I'm coming with you. Woo, glory. You just tell him you act a fool and baby, I'm going to give you your medicine. It's not all easy. It's not all hunky-dory. I mean, wake up, life is not a fairy tale. You know, when the Bible says, and we know, not we guess, not we think so, not we hope so, not maybe so, and we know, Romans 8:28, that all things, the good things and the bad things, the positives and the negatives, the bipolar situation, and we know, we know, touch your neighbor, say, we know that all things, the good things, the bad things, the ups and the downs, in sickness and in health, in riches and in poverty, and we all think God will take all of that mixed up stuff, put it in a bag, bake it in a cake, and he'll take the sweet with the bitter and make something that is utterly delicious. People will look at you and won't even notice you've been through what you've been through. God will bless you in such a way where you won't even look like you've been through what you've been through. But you'll never be able to accomplish really what God wants you to do if you are committed in your heart to take the path of least resistance, because you don't want any stress in your life. You can't do anything major with no stress. You can't do anything significant and have no stress. You can't have children that'll turn out all right if you don't have any stress. You can't have a marriage worth anything if you don't have some stress. You'll never build a business, do well in a career, build a church, build a ministry if you don't have some stress. Do you understand that the Bible talks about that this weight of glory is but a light affliction? But wherever there is glory, there is also weight. And the weight is the thing that causes the stress. If you've got something that looks glorious, there is a weight that comes on your life. You can't be afraid of the weight, because every bit of glory has weight. If you got something that is 24 karat gold, there's a weight. That's a weight. If you got something that's got some carats of diamond, a carat is a weight. The bigger the weight, the heavier the weight, the greater the glory. The greater the glory. If you're going under something that is really heavy to you right now, guess what? Great glory can come out of that. Great glory, great glory, great glory. You're dealing with great stress, great blessing, great blessing, great stress, great bless. God said, I'll bless you, and you're coming in and you're going out. Don't take the path of least resistance. It leads to nowhere significant. Anybody who is seeking a shortcut, anybody who is seeking a get-rich-quick scheme, anybody that is that is just seeking an easy way out of doing something, they begin to develop a habit of always checking out the easy way, the faster way to get things done, rather than doing what is hard and what is necessary to achieve real success. I don't want you to have some mixed up idea to think that if you get saved and pray that everything is just going to come on a flowery bed of ease. No, all hell is getting ready to break loose in your life. Before you get blessed, you are going to go through, a wilderness experience. You're going to come through a Red Sea. You're going to deal with armies coming against you, plagues breaking out, something happening in your body, attacking you in your body. You're going to deal with serpentine, demonic, satanic thing. You're going to deal with people close to you that can't even see your vision, and you trusted them with what God was telling you in your heart, and the people that are right under your roof can't even get along with the program and support you and believe in you and encourage you. But I declare that when you make up in your mind that this thing may not be easy, but it is worth it, that there is glory in this thing that God has given to me, I'm up for the challenge. You got to say, come on, bring it on, Slewfoot. Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. Bring it on, baby. I'm glad I've got some saints that's ready to do warfare now. It's not going to be easy. You have to roll up your sleeves and say, come on, I'm ready to work. I got a mind to work. I'm going to stay on the wall and I'm going to build this thing. I might have to have a weapon in one hand and I've got an instrument in the other. But I declare to you in the name of Jesus, I'm not going to try to go the easy route. I'm not going to pray for a lighter load. I'm going to pray for a stronger back. I'm going to say, strengthen me. The joy of the Lord is my strength. The joy of the Lord is my strength. The joy of the Lord is my strength. No more excuses. Take your seat for just a moment. Every underachiever that I know is an underachiever because something called the expediency factor. The expediency factor says that people invariably seek the fastest and the easiest way to get the things that they want right now with little or no concern for the long-term consequences of their behaviors. They want it quick and easy. And that's called the expediency factor. And every day there is a battle that is going on the inside of you between doing what is right and hard and necessary and doing what is fun and easy and of little or no value. And every day you got to fight that battle, and every day you got to win this battle with the expediency factor and resist the pull of the path of least resistance. And I hope that you will remember that the path of least resistance leads to a place called nowhere. Nowhere insignificant. Nowhere that don't mean anything, nowhere that has any purpose in it, nowhere that has the will of God in it. Do you realize that when the Apostle Paul was writing to young Timothy, as young Timothy was coming into the ministry, coming to a seasoned veteran in the Lord, coming to a young buck, coming into the ministry, he had to look at him and tell him, endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. He didn't get ready to say that, you're getting ready to be blessed now because you're called and you're anointed and all of the demons are going to lay down and lay palm branches in the street and welcome you to the city. No. He was letting them know that all hell is getting ready to break loose in your house. You're getting ready to deal with enemies from all around. Floods of stuff are getting ready to rise up against you, stuff that you couldn't even see. Rumors are getting ready to break out on you. You're getting ready to have trouble with your finances. You're getting ready to have physical things in your body where serpents in the wilderness came among them and start biting them and killing them all. Things that God never told you about. You're getting ready to be betrayed by folks that are related to you. People that are supposed to be in covenant with you, and they're getting ready to betray you. And so God will says, listen, you get your mind made up that you're going to walk with me every step of the way. He says, endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. Whoever told you that it was easy? Nobody had to say that it was easy. If it's easy, it doesn't mean very much. It won't cost much. It won't value anything. It's got to have some serious stuff in it that causes you to have to roll up your sleeve, and it might cause some blood and some sweat and some tears out of you, where it will cause some sacrifice out of your life. Not everything in the economy of God is easy. God will bring you some stuff that is so difficult for you to bear, and you'll look up toward him and say, Lord, it's too much. He knows when it's too much. He knows just how much you can bear. You don't even know how much you can do until you attempt that which you cannot do. And until you go as far as you can, you'll never know how far you can go. And so you've got to press and make a determination in your mind that I'm going to go all of the way. No excuses. No excuses. People talk about you. No excuses. No excuses. People misunderstand you. No excuses. No excuses. People assign wrong motives to you, and you know your heart. No excuses. Don't you dare let people in the grandstand dictate to you who's out there on the field, on the job. Ignore their criticism. They are not paid to do that. They are not professionals. They are spectators. They are not participators. And you allow spectators in your life to try to tell you how to play the game and criticize you, and you're sitting there sucking your thumb over somebody who criticized you. And there can be 100 people that have patted you on the back, and you're sitting there sulking because one person said something nasty to you, questioned your motive, and now you're insecure and wondering, am I really like this? And God sent 100 people to confirm you and to affirm you, and you are bent out of shape over one screwball who is always negative, griping, complaining, and does anybody know that person that I am talking about? Every decision that you make in your life gives you an opportunity to make an excuse. You have to make your own determination as to whether this is going to come honestly from my heart, and I'm going to really accomplish this thing because it was entrusted into me, or whether I'm going to make an excuse as to why I couldn't get the job done. My daddy, I grew up under one of those daddies where he just, no excuses. I didn't appreciate it then. I do appreciate it now. I would rather it was easier to go on and do what daddy told you to do than to make an excuse for him as to why you couldn't get it done, because daddy would light into you. He knew how. He knew that it could be done. And when it was not done, he knew that the reason that it was not done was because of an excuse. That whatever you were telling him, after he asked you whether the job was done, if it was not done, he knew that whatever was coming out of your mouth was an excuse. And I turned to his brother one time, and I said to him, there was traffic. And my uncle looked at me and he said these words: the only reason that anybody is ever late is that they didn't start out in time. Touch your neighbor, say, no excuses, no excuses, no excuses, no excuses. But whenever you make a major decision, I want you to always think about the long-term consequences and impact. Always think about the long-term, long-term, long-term. Say long-term. Not the immediate gratification, but long-term, long-term, long-term. See, that's what's wrong with crime. Crime says, go ahead and enjoy it now and pay later. When you pay later, you pay much more later. And then when you pay later, it'll probably cost you your reputation and may cost you your freedom. So you have to be very careful about playing now and paying later. No. The way is with a vision. When God gives you a vision, you can never pay later. You've got to pay in advance. You got to pay in advance. Always with the vision of God, you have to pay in advance. You're going to have to do the prayer work. Everything is always done in advance. You can go to some places. This doesn't work like the restaurants. See, there's some experiences in our life here that give us a wrong perception about life. And you can go to some places and dine and eat all of the food, and then they bring you the check after. You pay after the meal. But no. With God, it's like going to the cafeteria. You go to Piccadilly, your behind is going to pay before you sit down and eat. This is a Piccadilly. You have to pay ahead of time. When you get to the end of that counter, you get your tray down there. They're going to ring up some stuff, and you're going to have to pay before you eat. It's like on the little soul food hole in the wall. You get your dinner out of there, they're going to ring your meal up. In the greasy spoon, they're going to ring your meal up. And you're going to pay before you eat. And that's the way it is with God. If you're going to get a vision from God, you're going to pay in advance. You're going to pay in advance, and there are no excuses. There are no excuses. There is a price to be paid. You want to be mama? Oh, you can be mama, but you going to pay? You will pay? That's a price to pay to wear the tag daddy. You really want to be daddy? You got to pay. You honestly, you have to pay. There's a price to pay to be wife, to be husband. There's a price to pay to be boss, to be manager, to be supervisor. There is a price to pay. There's a price to pay to be in the top 20% of an organization. There's a price to pay to be salesman of the month. There's a price to pay, and most folks are not willing to pay the price, but they are willing to make an excuse. No more excuses. No more excuses. Always ask yourself these three questions. What are the internal implications of this decision? You get ready to make a decision. Ask, what are the internal implications of this decision? If I make this decision, will this thing damage my integrity? Will I be able to sleep tonight? Will I be able to sleep tonight? Number two, what are the external implications of this? What are the external implications? Will this harm my reputation, my outward reputation? My outward reputation. And then thirdly, what are this is the most important one, eternal implications. What are the eternal implications of this? Will this alter my destiny? And not only my destiny, will this also alter the destiny of my children? Because there are some things that you can do that will impact and lower the bar for your children. Will this, what are the eternal implications of this? And so if somebody gives you an invitation to do something, just knowing the right invitation to accept, the right invitation. You can't accept every invitation, but you got to know the right ones, because if you accept the right invitation, it'll open all of the other doors that you need open in your life. When God gave an invitation to Solomon to say, Solomon, ask me for anything you want. Because Solomon asked for the right thing, he used the right key through the first door, it gave him access to every other door. And God says that because you didn't ask me for houses and land and wealth and riches and fame and glory and all of these things, he said, I'm going to give you not only the wisdom, the discernment that you've asked for, I'm going to give you all of these other things that you didn't ask for because you took the right opportunity. And I pray that God will bring his discernment into your life, because there's an opportunity to be able to come and dine. And I don't want you to miss this incredible opportunity to come to the table, to the supper of the Lamb, and dine with him. To come and dine at his invitation, it's like, guess who's coming to dinner? God is saying, as he said in Revelation 3:20, behold, I stand at the door and knock. And if any man will hear my voice, I will come in and sup with him and he with me. It's about a dinner invitation. Because if you don't get a supping by him, you are dying of starvation simply through intellectualism and hedonism. You will die from the inside out when you are using the pleasures of this world and social relationships. You got to ask the eternal question, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and to lose his soul? You got to ask the eternal question that when I get on my deathbed, is it going to matter how many hours I put in on my job? And where I went to school? And how many awards I had? He gives you an opportunity to say, come and dine. When you dine from the table of the Lord, you got to eat in order to have strength. You really do. And God provides something so that you'll have strength to be able to nourish you through all that life will take out of you. Life is a whole exercise in and of itself. And you got to have something that will nourish your very soul. I want to ask if heads bowed, eyes closed, nobody walking, please. If you're in this place today and you realize, God, I've heard your invitation. I don't want to let my pursuit for trying to acquire possessions in this world, and God is not against your having things. He is against things having you that would stand in the way and keep you from coming to him because you're trying to accumulate more and more things. God is not against your having a great career and being dedicated to your job. You ought to do that. But don't let your job have you. You belong to God. God's not against your having a wife or husband, but don't put them, your relationships, before God. That is the preeminent relationship. Don't let anything stop you from that relationship, that invitation, the divine invitation that I give you right now. What I'm giving you right now is an invitation to come and dine with the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He will feed you with knowledge and wisdom. He will feed you with grace. He will feed you with his salvation. He will feed you with faith. He'll give you everything that you need. While heads are bowed and eyes are closed, if you're in this place today and you're saying, Lord, I hear your invitation and I know I need something because the things that I have tried have not worked. I'm empty. I'm tired of just pursuing things and working my fingers to the bone, doing it all by myself. God, I need help. I need you. I need you. I need you. I'm so tired, God, of eating alone. I'm so tired of eating food that doesn't last with me. Stuff that makes me feel terrible afterwards. I'm tired of partaking of that. I'm tired of disappointing stuff that looks good and then it turns out that it sours my stomach. But God, now I want you. I want you, the living bread, the living water that's on the table. God said, I will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. If you're in this place today and that's you and you're saying, God, I want to respond to your invitation. I'm coming. The highways and the hedges, I've been maimed, lamed, blind. If that's you, I want you to just slip your hand up right now. Just slip your hand up and say, Lord, I want to come to you now. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. The others, just slip your hand up all over the building. Yes, thank you. Are there others? And you're in this place and you're saying, God, I'm going to respond to you. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Are there others? You're making an eternal decision right now. This has eternal implications, not only for you, but for your seed. God will save you and your house.
Thank you for watching Power for Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner. Until next time, God bless you.